Hello everyone, I'm Natred. Welcome back to another Natred review. I'm here with my co-host, Beerus the Cat, and today we're going to be looking at a first attempt between Warlord FARIX and Santiago. I'm not sure if this is just an abbreviation for Santiago or not. Apologies if I'm coughing a little bit. It's my birthday, and I started celebrating a little bit early. So, I've known FARIX, a little like not super close, but my first DAG unit, he was on it, and I never really got a chance to fight against him all that much. My last chance fighting against him was, I think, shortly after he joined Path of the Dragon, and my last impression was like, this guy's getting really good. I need to make sure that I also get really good to deal with him, and I did not, and he did. So, there's one thing about FARIX that I saw in a previous board tournament video where he threw a sick double leg shot to just like instant kill somebody. If he looks at that, if he does that, we're gonna look at that a lot today. Aside from that, I have no context for this Santiago fighter, and let's take a look. We got a couple of boards fighting boards. Also, big immediate shout out for putting the score down here. This is amazing. Yeah, really nice stuff. Just really nice, just opening movements out of FARIX here. These little motions here. A lot of newer fighters, I feel like, will throw whole-on like dump shots and such, way over commit to try to begin a fight. And FARIX is out here just floating around, throwing little safe things. He's not over swinging himself out of position ever. And if nothing happens, it's fine because he's not over committed anywhere. Starting to do some footwork. Yeah, it got caught maybe crossing a little bit far over. Yeah. Okay. Clean way to close it out there. Fighting down an ARM V board is how true heroes are made.
Ah, no, you got it.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. And again, we can see from both of these fighters, a lot of these movements they're doing, a lot of newer fighters will be like trying to accomplish the exact same thing that these little movements are doing, which is beginning an initiation, like beginning the fight without but these little motions do it without overcommitting. And you may have a slightly higher success rate throwing full-on dump shots designed to just begin a fight, but a lot of the time you're going to end up way overcommitted and out of position. So we have lots of movement, lots of little pump and dumps. And then FARIX hits this nice timing. Let's see what his feet do here also. Because FARIX hits this nice timing where he dark sides straight into chest, or back as he's turning. And it's the spin shot, I believe, from Santi that turns what may have been a block or an arm wound into a back shot. And we have this hand kind of floating out and a little bit too close to Santi's center for me. Yeah, like it's a combination of like the shield disengaging itself because he's getting ready to spin, combined with this kind of wind up. It's not really even a wind up, but there is this period. Like I think here, maybe like here is just a general good snapshot of like hand positioning when you're fighting board. And FARIX hits this nice timing when he's coming out with this dark side as Santi looks to be throwing maybe like money into spin. Also, this is a very long first attempt, so I thought about doing multiple videos on it, but I figured I just want to do one contiguous thing because people wanted to scroll back and look at stuff. I might at some point. So feel free to pause at some point and come back. Just remember what the score was at the bottom of the screen. Okay, some grindage. See, I like this. I try to do this a whole lot. This like straight cross chop thing to just close. Like all this shot is really doing. Like I shouldn't say all. I'm not going to try to read FARIX's mind here. One of the things this shot is doing is creating like some action tying up this striking lane, and FARIX is using that as an opportunity to close. And he tries to go for this big sky hooky wrap, doesn't quite get it. Requires a lot of shield movement to block that one, and actually pulls it off here to Santiago, and loses a leg in the process. By no means does a fight ever stop here between a board v board fighter, especially in games that don't allot for physical contact as much. I get, you know, like in DAG, it's not always correct to knock your opponent over when they're on their knees, but it just is an option that you can do. Kick them over. Slick and close. I like the little upshot. And, you know, both these guys seem to be very, very... I know where FARIX's skill level is at because of just accolades. Don't know this Santiago fighter at all. But this is such a nice little shot that you have to, like, be willing to get down low for. You know, with my body right now, I don't know if I could, like, hang out with this much lean, because I wouldn't be able to get back up in time if I needed to. We have this nice shot that goes real deep, because FARIX has some extension here on his shield. You have to. And the whole time that Santi is doing this, his forearm is exposed for what, like 1, 2, 3, like 4 frames, and it's a tiny slot. So hopefully get to see more footage of him in the future. I like this guard from FARIX. Insert this is bait, or that's bait meme here. Yep.
Oh, fuck. You got it.
And something I've talked about in a lot of previous videos is just how getting tons of repetitions in with your fighting will let you really understand where your shield needs to be. Like, look at these machine gunning shots, and Santi is throwing them while, like, leaning in slightly, going deeper, deeper, deeper. And FARIX just very, very gently brings his shield back a little bit to match the inward lean, because he knows where his guard is. He doesn't suddenly suck his shield all the way back into his chest. It's this gentle adjustment in response to his opponent's gentle adjustment.
Oh, fuck. You got it. Oh, fuck. You got it.
Yeah, I got our shield tied up, covering our right side, does Santi.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You got it.
Good movement from FARIX. I feel like Santi kind of got sleep with the feet there for a second. And obviously these guys are grinning and smiling. I don't think they're treating this the most competitively. They're not as keyed up as they can probably be if they're really wanting to grab a championship. Again, love this shot. Just if you're gonna throw a dump shot to actually make contact with your opponent, what FARIX does here is great. And just to point out something, one of the things that makes this a great shot is this little cross chop. Wait for him to throw it. Like right here. So if FARIX was like one, like what's the word I'm looking for? One category of length further, like one maybe like full normal stride in, maybe like front foot somewhere in here, this shot can suddenly be turned over into a into the hip pocket of the shield of Santi here. Can roll over into it, but it's still going to come out and look similar until you break it at that like midpoint of its flight path. So what you're doing here is you're establishing a like good dump shot to try to like close distance, initiate contact, does a lot of things, as well as this shot's going to mirror a possible future strike that's intended to be lethal really closely. And FARIX just has nice mechanics here when going over the top, and manages to stick a block and land a shot simultaneously just about. Yeah, just this is just like little bits of differences in timing and mechanic. But very nice. Let's kind of take a closer look. FARIX doesn't really go very high with this high cross before like flipping it in. And not only does that like get it there a little bit earlier, it also naturally positions him to, even if he didn't get that shot, to land this block here.
Oh, no. Oh, good.
Wise. Wise. Yep. Not much to say about that one.
3-1.
Haven't done a review for a few days. It's nice to be back doing one. Doing one that's nice and long. Between some good fighters. Even the setting is pretty. Nice green grass. Aesthetic cat. Okay, I've seen FARIX throw this a lot, and every time he does it, I just think, what the fuck? Like, okay, so I love throwing Dark Side, man, and I love throwing Dark Side and coming back high. I've never thrown, like, alright, come on, do it. Do the thing. I've never rolled over the top like this. Oh, back over into their shield side shoulder. It doesn't seem just like possible. I never would have thought I never would have thought of this shot. Maybe like 5 or 6 years from now, and I've thrown like my 10,000th like dark side that goes high or something would occur to me. So I've been wanting to really kind of take a look at this. The first thing I'll note is that just from looking at FARIX's feet here, it's hard to get an exact angle, but it looks like we have our feet almost in a direct line. So this may be something you have to do to get some body position to throw this shot, and this may be one of those things where you're trading off some mechanical strength of that of a strike for a shot for cleverness for surprise, because this is definitely like I feel like a shot that ambushes the shit out of people. My question would be, what does FARIX do when this doesn't work? Like, if that shot gets blocked, where do we see FARIX go from here? I mean, I guess you have your shield in front of you the whole time. And so this leads me to some further questions. How easy is it to throw this shot with sufficient force in games that care about it? Not saying you can't, I'm just wondering. And in games where people like to just randomly shield check you, how wise is it to be lined up like this? I think this shot is fantastic. I don't think I would have to lose so much weight just to lose the like to gain the space behind my shield to throw something like that. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I don't know if that's like a unique thing, but like I don't know. I think that's really neat. Yeah, see. And also, Punch Shield Gang. This is why you fight Punch. You can do wackadoo shit like that. Props to FARIX for fighting Punch, fighting a like bigger than small Punch, and still be able to have that much flexibility and range of motion. Oh, I'm gonna charge you. Oh, I'm gonna charge you. Now, I feel like this is definitely something I'm noticing because I'm armchair quarterbacking. If I was super rock solid, or if somebody was a really much better fighter than me, they may have noticed to make this adjustment by now. But I wonder if it's possible, the fact that FARIX keeps doing this, like, cross chop or positioning to cross chop kind of lead in, if there's any wisdom in maybe preemptively, or like not preemptively, but like letting this motion trigger you into maybe dark siding, or maybe trying to. I don't think you want to high cross into FARIX's guard here at all, because he's just going to be able to sweep up really easily and catch your high cross. But that forearm is still out there and extended, and so I wonder if there's ways to get it to abuse this habit of his to lead with that. Maybe just throwing little flicks for just behind the wrist without going high and crossing. But the fact that like FARIX is repeatedly doing this almost gets it there. The fact that FARIX is repeatedly doing this means that there may be something that you can build from that.
Oh, you did hit it.
Spins make reviewing fights hard. All right, easy block. Also, I love the pose. Beautiful, beautiful. What time is this? 3:12. I might save that for later. That might be thumbnail material. Okay. Do. Oh, everything's ruined. Okay. Then FARIX looks like he might whiff this spin as well. Hard to see there. And then it looks like they just bump and he sticks the high cross.
Oh, you did it.
Okay, FARIX got that. Hard to see sometimes. Also, just wanted to say, in the near future, my roommate bought a drone, and we're gonna try to record some simultaneous, like, on-the-ground shots with this, with some, like, above-ground shots, so you can see top-down as well at the same time. See, okay, good. This is kind of one of the things I was talking about. If FARIX is going to keep doing this flat chop extension looking thing, come on, YouTube. If FARIX is going to keep extending his arm and beginning the fight by flat chopping or positioning to flat chop like this, I think you need to find, like, right there. When he's kind of in that kind of position, you need to start finding ways to abuse it. And looks like Santi very savvily, like, yeah, there it is, and boop, there it is. Picks up the arm, easy peasy. Mark of a skilled fighter there, just being able to make those little adjustments. Yep, good shit. I like FARIX also probing for the leg. Okay. I liked some very, very, very clean, pretty shots coming out of these guys today. Maybe it's just the quality of the videos making me think that. Slightly better video quality than what I'm used to, I feel like. Big cockback from Santi here. Throws with a lot of strength. And it looks like FARIX even gets some possible stick on it, but doesn't break enough of its momentum. Leg for an arm. Also looks like Santi's shot here may have interrupted FARIX from going higher with this shot into the groin or perhaps the belly. So, Nido torpedo. Alright, this is where heroes are made.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Or did I get anything? Okay. He goes this time, okay?
And again, I'm watching this sword arm from FARIX, and I feel like Santi could begin making FARIX work a little bit harder by throwing little cross chops like he did previously.
Oh,
Yep, there's that little cross chop. Yep. Yep, it manages to stay in the pocket and stay higher than Santi. Throw over the top. It's a nice clean body shot. What is there to say? About halfway through the time on this video now, so if you're getting tired of it and wanted to come back later, now would be a good time for a break. Oh, shield side wraps. I can do them over the top like this, but what I can't seem to ever do is that. I've tried, and I know I just need to try some more. Maybe I'm just throwing them at the wrong time, but we see probably a little bit of a late reaction, which leads to an overcommitment. I feel like this is FARIX's body going, oh, hey, this wrap is coming in way higher than I thought it would. And then even after the block is stuck, the shield goes even higher. And also, oh, and like FARIX is also blind to what this hand is doing, so he might think, "Oh God, the double tap is coming," while being blind to the fact that this is coming around the side.
Oh, fuck, good. Got me all bound up.
Yeah, sounds like you said you caught me off balance for sure. Oh Lord, spin shots. Imagine if that had just fucking worked though. I think this is why people throw spin shots. I think it's the main reason they do it. Like, this can't be much more efficient than just throwing money or something for that same region while being a lot safer. This spin specifically, because I don't feel like he's gaining a ton more angle by rotating out of this. But man, if he had come up into like FARIX's like arm or stomach here, and then you just spin away and you go kiss your fucking like hot ass partner, and yeah, you just feel like a badass.
Okay. I am like. Did I get something? Are you sure? Okay.
You got you hit him in the binky. Yep, sufficient, my lord. Don't need to say anything else. We're good here. Yes, that shot is good. Please don't throw it harder.
It was light, but it was okay. So I was like, yeah, no. Good call. Next one.
I still haven't seen the sweet double leg out of FARIX yet. That's the shot I want to steal.
Good. Wow.
I agree, those were good blocks, but shit's really fast. So it looks like they might throw in each other's shields here. Then FARIX comes back. And yeah, just keeping that strap shield in a nice position. Saves you a lot of work. Saves you a lot of walking to spawn.
Ah, I was late on it.
Let's look at FARIX's footwork here too. This is cool. Like, he kind of does this, it's not jumping, but this kind of juddering steps to the right here. Badoop, badoop, badoop. I'm going for this right side. And then he just kind of like he kind of stops at some of that movement and goes inwards a little bit more and sets up this shot. And like, I think this shield movement here from Santi, it could be partially due to the fact that the last couple frames of reference in his head have FARIX bouncing right, bouncing right, bouncing right. And, you know, maybe he's thinking that there's going to be a big shield side wrap coming in.
Ah, I was late on it.
Not only do I love watching people fight who are fucking very skilled, I also enjoy watching people fight who are obviously really having a fun time. It's heartwarming. I touch your shield. I know, I'm not making fun of it at all, but it just like, oh god, I love it. I touch your shield, and I see what happens. Better than throwing a shitty dump shot, by far. I'm sad that was off screen, it looked like a cool exchange.
Oh, you got it.
Alright, Santi. What is this shield moving for? I guess it's expecting FARIX to go high. Yeah, I think a lot of what I'm starting to see through watching just tape in general is people get killed from making minor mistakes that lead to major overreactions. I feel like the minor mistake here is moving his shield a little bit to block FARIX's like around the back thing, and then realizing he's out of position for the actual shot coming in and going, oh fuck, and bringing the shield up really, really high. And he might not even be trying to do that with his like mind. He may just be trying to reset his shield into guard, but the adrenaline and the sudden little instant of panic makes your body throw it harder than you're used to. It's why whenever I watch people like Kurai fight, I think part of the reason Kurai is so good is he very rarely gives you much bullshit, much like stimuli to key off of. His movement and the way he throws shots are really crisp and short and abrupt, and so there's just overall less chances for you to make a minor mistake that leads to a major overreaction. Okay. Alright, it's hero time. Kill the dragon. Get the girl. Or boy, or non-binary pal. Maybe I'll link below a clip that I took of Kurai fighting, where he does a shot progression combo, whatever you want to call it, while down an arm versus board. That works really well if you're interested in seeing like one of the ways I think you can most easily kill a board fighter when you're down an arm. Not saying it would have helped either of these guys in that instance, just general knowledge. Not really so much good at giving advice here with people of this caliber as I am just pointing out like little gaps and things that I might see. That spin shot a couple seconds ago from Santi, I feel like was just a little bit too far out to get the angle it needed. It was nice mechanically though, aside from the range. This is what I talk about a lot, guys. Having just a nice, good guard. Like, Santi, he probably overmoves his shield to block this, but just having his weapon in a nice position adds a lot of extra contact surface to block with. Having just that nice, good position, you create a snap back into. Even if one arm doesn't do it, maybe the other will. See, I like these attempts to target FARIX's wrist, given a lot of the ways he's starting into fights. Man, that spin looked pretty close at full speed to landing. This would have been, again, really cool. Nope. Just a little bit of shield movement and the charge and cross. Sure. Well done, man. 10-3 is a heck of a score. I feel like my main takeaways from this would be there's been a bit too much overcommitment and dumpy shots from Santi here that started that progression of mild mistake, major overreaction, and there was what that looked like, what that manifested itself in was overreaction with the shield movement, throwing it way too far than it really needed to go, and then that gives FARIX the opportunity to land a shot. From FARIX's point of view, I could really think about what you would do to get a step ahead of people, recognizing that your wrist might be a target. Either just knowing that that's a thing, and you may already know, but just like knowing that's a thing and start planning ways to either mitigate it if somebody starts exploiting it really well, or using the fact that they know it's open to make another plan for, okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do my regular thing, and if somebody tries to spring on my wrist, like, you know, I think they're going to, I have this follow-up to it that then exploits the position they end up in from doing that. 5D chess, etc. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you back again here real soon.